Another day, another hit job falls flat. The Washington Post had claimed that the Indian government had pressured LIC to invest up to $3.9 billion in the Adani Group, a charge LIC now calls completely false and baseless. From multi-thousand crore bond deals to equity stakes, LIC says its decisions are independent, profitable, and fully above board. You must note, NDTV is a subsidiary of the Adani Media Group, but Nisha Podar, my colleague, is here to break down all the details for you. Listen in.
Let's look at the facts and publicly available data that is there to really see whether Washington Post's allegations have been hold true or not. First of all, they have said that Government of India has pressurized LIC's investment decisions in Adani Group and especially Adani Ports, which required over $500 million for repaying some bond or debt dues. Now, first of all, LIC has proactively refuted all these claims by Washington Post and also stated that their exposure to Adani firms is 36,000 crores, which is under 1% of their total AUM. The first big allegation of over $500 million of bond issue refinancing, that's what Washington Post has said, that it is for refinancing some earlier debt. And to that, the publicly available data suggests that Adani Ports had utilized that particular money for really buying back the bonds which were maturing in 2027 and 2029. Also important to note that LIC is receiving an additional profit with 1.26% of spread over 15 years GSEC. So that is a profitable investment coming in for LIC by way of this investment in Adani Group. Also to look at the big question that Washington Post really asked is Adani dependent on LIC for its fundraise and funding requirements? Well, debt from LIC is less than 3% of Adani's total debt. 50% of Adani's debt is from overseas investors. So that particular point gets refuted here. Other large investments that have been done in LIC, and is LIC really the sole investor? That also is one of the claims by Washington Post on Adani in this particular bond issuance. So is that of its investment decisions or general trends of decision? That is a big question to be asked. And here again, we have found out that LIC has been making or being the sole or the largest investor in many of the conglomerates and large companies in India, and the list is right here. Now, the second allegation also is of other international bankers and institutional investors, whether or not they invest in Adani Group. And there again, the fact suggests, and we have many instances in this particular year where Adani has received investments from many marquee foreign investors. So looking at the overall size of LIC's investments, and equity issuance, remember, could be just market trade by LIC by way of even corporate action and equity action of Adani Group, which has unlocked value in several of its verticals, starting from Adani Enterprises way back. So there again, by way of that, LIC could have held larger stake in many of the companies in LIC. But when it comes to large investments, top 10 investments of LIC in the large conglomerates or businesses in India, Adani Group does not fall in that. So a lot of these Washington Post's allegations fall flat when we look at the facts which are publicly available data on the listed companies of Adani Group.